Alright, and welcome back, everyone, to the Warcraft RPG campaign Storm, Earth, and Fire, you might call it. I am William, and I am the storyteller game master for this Warcraft RPG campaign. And joining me today, we do not have John. John is feeling ill, so he will not be here today. But we do have Holly.
Hi! Oh, I'm playing Shiana Flamecarver, and I'm Holly, and I'm playing Shiana Flamecarver. She is a rogue assassin orc.
There you go.
With one arm.
And Austin, who is playing Jangatal, just gonna get the name out there before he even starts.
Hi, I'm Austin, and I'm playing the troll of the group, who is also the general wild man of the group, and his ever faithful snack friend, who is the mascot of the group.
Yeah.
I need wings for this guy to make it truly appropriate.
I can just imagine people going up to him and just saluting him.
That is the appropriate response to snack friend.
And Rudy?
Hey, I'm Rudy. I'm playing Brick Earth Whisperer, Rune Next. Tauren Rune Next.
And Stan?
I'm playing Josh, the Goblin Tinker.
And Zachary.
Hey, I'm Zach, and I'm playing Leaf Ironmender, the half-orc Tinker Holy Priest.
When last we left off, the group had begun to make its way after a brief stop at the tomb within the Lightbringer, towards the wetlands to make their way towards the Twilight Highlands, managing to avoid too much Alliance interaction along the way. They eventually reached the Thandal Span and began to cross over that. After a trip to the Highlands, after the trip to the Arathi Highlands, they got cut significantly short because I forgot distances because the Eastern Kingdoms is not my map. I'm not as familiar with the Eastern Kingdoms as Kalimdor. But after traversing a significant distance and arriving at the Thandal Span, the group, upon reaching the other side of the span, leading into the wetlands, was stopped by a gunshot and a loud voice which shouted, "Halt!" And that is where we pick up. The voice has just shouted. You haven't seen the approach yet. What are you guys gonna do?
It's someone with a gun, so the best option is to wait and do what he says until we see him, because first off, I'd rather talk this out, and second off, as soon as he shows himself, that's when he loses the advantage of us not seeing him, and he has a gun, so let's stop.
Okay, is everyone else going to follow the half-orc's lead?
Yeah, I mean, I was planning on stopping because I don't want to get shot.
I'm gonna immediately begin looking around my surroundings to see if I can find this dude with a gun.
Roll me a perception check. You can find the dude with a gun.
No.
Grab my dice.
What's your roll?
I didn't roll a natural 1.
Was it a 2?
Maybe.
Okay.
So I got better off with a 5? No.
I mean, I have modifiers.
That's a 6.
Hey, that's not the worst you could have rolled.
No, I could have rolled the natural 1.
Roll a 5. Alright, so a few moments later, as the group of you are trying to figure out what's going on, eventually you begin to see cloaks begin to rise up from the hilly, mountainous sides of this area. These sort of stone gray cloaks that served well to camouflage and hide with the environment begin to rise up as about a dozen individuals with guns reveal themselves from around the watch, and approaching from around one of the heavier rocks is the one individual who is not wearing one of these cloaks. All of these individuals are of shorter stature. They're definitely of either dwarven or gnomish height. You would assume dwarven, although you haven't gotten a good enough look to really tell. Maybe goblin height. You know, who knows? But the one individual approaching is not wearing a cloak, but is wearing a full suit of heavy plate armor, of a sort of a steel gray that has been painted over with trim of fire orange and then an inlay, sort of a secondary coloration of gold. with a hefty great axe slung across his back. This individual approaching without a hood is definitely a dwarf, as you can see his long red hair that is just kind of flowing behind him with the full beard that reaches down about to a mid-waist and is braided with several different bits of jewelry in it. As he approaches, he looks at the group of you. Well, aren't you a strange sight for crossing the Thandal span? What's your business
I
here?
kind of point at him.
What was the name specifically of the abbey you were saying we were going to?
Northshire Abbey.
Yeah. We're heading south to Northshire Abbey.
And what brings you to the Abbey?
I'm heading there on my pilgrimage. These are my friends here to help me on the journey. It's certainly a perilous one, what with the activity of the Scourge.
Roll me deception.
Alright.
Are you proficient in that?
We will very much see.
I am, but
I see.
I'm not speaking.
I can roll well.
And you've got a good charisma score, right?
Yes, I do have a decent charisma score. That was... Is 12 gonna cut it?
You see, as you get this explanation, you see his eyes narrow. And he sort of looks at the group of you. I don't know how I feel about letting horde groups pass unaccosted through my lands. We're going to have to... Well, if you, as you say, perhaps you won't mind if we investigate a little bit.
Go ahead.
He offers a sharp whistle, and a couple of the other dwarves kind of step up and proceed to walk over to the cart and start to rummage through and see what's inside.
What kind of stuff is? I'm just playing with springs.
We don't have anything incriminating there.
Well, I mean, the big suit that I have is,
I mean,
armed. But other than that,
There's the big suit, but mostly
Yeah, but
it's-
he
we
just
don't
said
have
that
orders
we're
or anything.
guards.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not in
The
it.
only thing possibly incriminating is that one guy has a banner, but
I think he's hiding that on
Yeah, he
him.
hid that. He
Yeah.
said,
yeah.
Just,
we don't have
fold it up,
banners showing.
slide it into the rib cage of the undead horse. Perfect hiding spot.
No, he put it away last week
Yeah.
when we started through here.
Mm-hmm. I think we've got some banners with a Sneck friend on them, though.
Yeah.
I've basically been designing those right now, and they're probably all on my person, so.
So a few minutes pass, and the two dwarves kind of step up, and they proceed to exchange a few words in Dwarvish. None of you speak, I believe.
Nope.
Believe it or not, I
Dwarvish?
don't speak Dwarvish.
You don't speak.
I mean, that doesn't negate the validity of my prior statement.
The snake friend speaks.
No.
It negates its relevancy, but.
Well, they changed the way the languages work.
Yeah, I know.
So,
No, I don't speak dwarf.
yeah. So, after a few seconds, of conversation, the other dwarf looks up at the group of you. All right, you don't seem to be carrying anything worthy of waging war with. Keep that shredder deactivated while you're passing through.
Certainly, I can't afford the Floguson anyway.
We'll be keeping an eye on you as you pass through the wetlands.
I understand completely. Thank you.
My name is Thargus Anvilmar. Pray you don't have to meet me again under worse circumstances.
I'll try to avoid that.
Alright. Carry on through, he says as he waves the group of you on and signals the other dwarves to get back into position.
Alright, let's go.
Are we planning on coming back this direction anyway?
I mean, we're planning on seeing how things go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Child's fingers are
I know. In fact, could you, like, move him back? Because I'm afraid to move at all right now. Thank you.
Okay. So you move on, and begin to pass through the wetlands, and it's gonna be a day or two's travel to get from the wetlands to the Twilight Highlands.
While we're passing through, since I'm so fast, I've got a little bit of time. I would like to be investigating the herbs and flora and fauna, since we're in such a completely different area than I'm used to. Because these wetlands are different than a jungle, I'm assuming.
Yes.
They're more marsh.
Absolutely. Do you have the herbalism trade skill?
I do not have the herbalism trade skill. I'm not interested in, like, from herbal properties. I'm interested in it from an ecological.
Okay. Then just roll me a survival check. Assuming the die can go in the tower.
I need to make myself a new tower. It's a thoroughly mediocre roll. I'm good at survival, so that's 14.
The plant life here is definitely different from what you're used to. It is not remotely similar to either the desert or jungle environments that you are more familiar with.
We did pass through occasionally the marshland before Thousand Needles.
Yeah, you went through.
I've been through there a couple times.
Dustwallow
Is it comparable to that?
It's a little bit less choked than Dustwallow. The marsh around that area is very thick and very overgrown with vegetation. There's a lot of vines and creatures that grow there. They're used to the very dense environment and the very
Foliage, undergrowth.
Yeah. This is a lot more just open fields that have been suffused with water so heavily and for so long that it's just kind of become a part of the environment.
Less a marsh, more a bog.
Kind of, yeah.
Cool.
They're called wetlands for a reason. As you look around, it's the foliage is not thick. Like, the trees are sparse, but they're there. And the plants, the grass doesn't grow super tall. But everywhere you look, you can see the ground is kind of spongy from water, and you can just see occasional pools that just kind of rest in areas.
So there's nothing like this on the other continent.
Not quite.
I'm also going to kind of keep track of the animal, if there's any particularly unique animals or plants that grow in conditions that shouldn't be favorable to plants as I know them.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of lichen that grows around the watery areas that you can definitely see, especially around the areas where there's stone abutting the rock, or abutting the water. The notable thing is, as you sort of look around, you begin to pick up tracks that are not familiar to you. They look almost canine, but they're not spaced properly. These sort of vaguely canine-looking tracks are... they're spaced like an upright thing walking, which is odd for canines, because they're used to them being spaced in groups of 4 rather than groups of 2.
So some sort of bipedal canine.
Potentially.
So, first question. Could I take samples of this lichen?
Probably.
Like, if I pick up, I'm going to pick up a rock and just kind of experiment as we're traveling, just to see how well it does, how hardy it is, if it can be removed from its environment, if it won't live in a bag, that sort of thing. If it threatens to dry out. I'm also, if I get a chance to move ahead of the group, I'm going to see if I can follow some of these tracks. I don't know. I'm not going to do it surreptitious. I'm not hiding it. I'm just being like, I found tracks and just kind of move off ahead.
Yep. And so as you go ahead and just give me a stealth check.
Ooh, that was a much better roll. 23.
As you sort of look around and follow some of these tracks down one of their paths, you begin to reach areas of more recent activity. And you see areas where brush has been disturbed, where you can see definitely much more fresh tracks and the signs of recent activity, like wood that's been kind of scraped by passage. You begin to hear sounds, this sort of like dog-like, aggressive yipping, but almost sounds like some of the hyenas that you see in the barrens.
I know what these are now. Well, I do. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Looking at the tracks, how many? What size? Or weight?
Definitely larger than like your average human, you would say. More comparative to like your troll sized, and at least maybe in this particular group maybe 6 or 7.
Okay, so not Tauren sized.
No.
Okay. Do the tracks look like they're heading in a direction where we would intercept them on our path, or are they just kind of minding their own business?
You would definitely be coming near them on your path. You wouldn't necessarily intercept, but if they decided to change their direction, they could very easily run into you.
Okay. And you said I'm hearing them speak. I'm hearing yipping and stuff?
Yeah.
Does it sound like the sort of yipping of wild animals, or does it sound like it's a distinct form of...
Roll me investigation.
I'm so good at that. Especially when I roll a 4 on the die. I forget if I'm proficient in investigation. I'm not.
That's a 3.
Sounds like yipping to you.
Cool.
It's hard to make out whether it's language or not when you don't understand what it's supposed to sound like.
I'm going to eke a little bit closer. See if I can catch a glimpse of these things then.
So you come across and cross over, and you see a group of bipedal coyote creatures is the best way to describe them. As you sort of look through the brush and see there's a group of about 4 or 5 of them sitting huddled around a fire that is burning low, wearing sort of these very rough fit bits of leather and hide, occasional scraps of metal. They have like clubs and spears off to the side as they're having this sort of yipping conversation amongst each other. And they have sort of their bodies are tall and broadly built, but they have this pronounced hunch, like their heads are just sort of built forward out of their torso. That causes them to lean very far forward. It sort of reminds you of a Tauren, but nowhere near in scale.
Or intelligence based on what they're
Yeah.
holding. This looks like Quillbore level type stuff, right?
Yeah,
like Quillbore intelligence?
Definitely looks vaguely Quillbore-ish.
If Quillbores were dogs instead of porcupines.
Kind of, yeah. And then, but immediately, a few moments later, you hear a much deeper and louder bark that sounds much more aggressive and authoritative. And a few seconds later, you see emerging from a sort of a hide tent a much larger specimen of where these guys are sort of a black or brownish color. This one's kind of a mottled gray, and he's got red paint across his face and across some of his limbs. And he's wearing much heavier metallic armor, and at his side there is a chain flail that has 2 heads on it, like a double-headed flail. And he's much larger and broader and carries this air of authority that all of the other gnolls seem to immediately submit to. They all kind of like hunch obsequiously as he approaches and starts barking loudly.
Okay. But they look like they're permanently camped, temporarily camped, or like this is here for the night?
It looks like it's probably just here for like right now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to slip back to the rest. I'm going to wait just a little bit to see if they start to move out and then slip back to the rest of the group.
They seem to be here for now.
Okay. I slip back to the rest of the group. I'll walk up to our good assassin friend.
Arm's not there. Yes.
Yes, whatever. He pulls up, jumps back on his horse, rides up beside you. He pulls out the map.
Okay.
He pulls out his counting bag. Pulls out. You said there were four little ones and a big one.
5 little ones and a big one.
He pulls out 5 small teeth
Okay.
and 1 big tooth, and places them on the map. And places them aside. and then points at the map where they are, and then puts the big tooth on that spot, and then follows along the path with his finger, and then makes and then points at the group, and then makes a separate path with a bit of a wider berth, and then begins taking his horse off the trail.
Okay.
There are creatures
There's a critter.
that way. You want us to go for them?
No, he's
going
making a
away.
path that's
He's
avoiding.
going away from.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought
Well, let's see, okay, we'll try to move around.
to move around them. Do they seem hostile?
He like makes feigns and makes like a face.
They seem angry. Scary.
Don't know.
They could kill us?
They're savage, not very smart. They'll probably attack us if we cross their territory.
Ah. Well, then we should go around.
Okay. We'll go around for now.
And begin leading him on a separate path that will.
Roll me a survival check
Avoid
just to see how well you can make it back to avoid.
Oh, we're not my favorite terrain, but still works. 16.
16, yeah, you managed to keep in your mind the location that you saw them and move. And occasionally you hear their yipping noises in the distance, and you make sure to steer even further away to try and avoid getting anywhere where they would begin to sense you or try and chase after you. But that means, as you're keeping an eye out for the knolls and kind of wandering around, you find yourself moving into wetter and wetter territory as you start having to move through more of the standing water that exists around the wetlands. And it is while you are moving through one of these pools of water that you, as you're walking, you feel your foot press into something scaly. And
Not another crocodile.
almost immediately after your foot makes contact, there is a wild splashing noise as a large, compare it to like regular critters, but definitely nowhere near as large as you, scaled, almost frog-like creature kind of emerges from the muck of the pond and just kind of brandishes a spear at you and makes weird gurgling noises as it backs away from you and pulls the spear out in front of it, like you seem to have stepped on it.
I want it. I want to keep it. Sorry, I'm saying this as a player.
The troll's going to look at it, push its spear down with one hand to keep walking.
It looks at you for a second. Wow. You keep going.
We keep going.
I look around. There's not like a nest or anything I'm disturbing, right?
No, it seems to have been like sleeping at the bottom of this lake, and you seem to have stepped on it.
Just keep walking.
Shiana's just gonna walk past that.
Wow. It kind of snaps at your hand, but
Or whatever an orc does.
growl. You know.
Like that.
Yeah. He'll be my noises.
Richard is providing the Foley effects.
Just keep an eye on it.
You look like you're about to say something.
I mean, ready in action if we run into a whole bunch more to cast Call Motions, but other than that, I mean...
I just had a hand grenade.
Get ready on that.
I don't feel threatened by a frog with a stick.
I mean, I really want one, but
The creature kind of looks at you as you walk away from it, and it kind of watches you for a minute, and as one of you kind of keep your eyes over your shoulder at it, and kind of like sees you moving on, flips its spear backhanded in its grip, and just stabs into the dirt and pulls up a fish and starts to munch on the fish.
The beauty of being true neutral. I just don't care.
my little mermaid. She's right at her right now.
eventually it begins to get dark, and you probably want to start setting down for the night.
I'm gonna see if I can find a particularly dry spot.
As dry as you can find in the wetlands.
Bit of high ground, you know.
Yeah, probably some high ground near, like, overlooking the road, probably, because that's where the road tends to have been built around the highest terrain to try and make it easier for carts and stuff to move through. So probably near the road, you'd probably find some appropriate hills, which means you'd be inside of anyone traversing the road, but it's also the only real place where you're not going to be sleeping in the moisture. So how are you guys going to set up camp?
I mean, I'm presuming that people have set up camp on these hills before.
Probably. You gonna up tents and start a fire, or?
Can we get a fire? I mean, I can start a fire. Just have to.
Should we be starting
do
a
we
fire
need a fire?
here?
We probably don't need a fire in this. I mean, it'd be nice to dry things out, but
I'm gonna go
We don't
and
really
bring
do.
back a whole bunch of fish, reptiles, and whatever else I can find.
Taking a cue from one of the Murlocs, you see that a lot of these larger ponds are almost like small lakes and have a certain amount of ecology in them. And there's a number of small fish that can be found, and there's also a major river that seems to run through most of the wetlands that seems to be feeding a lot of these water features.
Cool.
So there's definitely some fish to be had.
I'm going to fish with great skill.
As an Outlander, you're able to find enough fish just innately without having too much trouble.
That's a
to-
20 on survival.
Yeah, you managed to definitely find enough food for everyone for the night without having to deplete any of your rations.
So you said we're following at least somewhat close to a trail. How well traveled does it look?
The road itself is relatively decently traveled. You definitely see there are spots where carts have gone off the side of the road and gotten stuck, and you can see like individual wheels that are still just left where they were when someone pulled the rest of the cart out and had to leave the wheel. And this road definitely seems to see enough travel that it's not impossible that someone would stumble across you if they were moving at night, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like.
It doesn't seem likely that they'd be moving at night.
Yeah, it seems more like this is the kind of place that you want to go during the day.
Okay.
Also, as I come back, I rolled a 15 to prepare the fish.
Yeah.
I don't plan on using a fire, unless somebody started a fire while I was out.
I can set up a magical fire for a few minutes to.
But I mean, I just got back and I just started.
I'm going to stop. I mean, we're not going to burn it all night. We don't want to get too much attention. Try a little mini bonfire.
Sure.
Just for practice.
Alright, well, if there's fire, throw a big rock on it. It's fish, and I found some of the mosses and stuff to kind of. Because if it's very stagnant water, these are probably bottom feeder type fish. They probably taste like mud.
Yeah, I do like those really bad catfish.
Or really good catfish, as the case may be,
Well,
but still
like
catfish.
bottom, yeah.
Not farm. Catfish, one of the few animals that's better farm raised. Just
Yeah, right.
better. I say with my expert knowledge. Yes, I am a normal human. I eat normal human food.
You can't eat fish.
Yeah, and you cook up some fish and set up camp for the night. Anyone keeping watch, or
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah,
set up a
definitely.
watch.
What do we need? 3 watches?
generally?
I think we work on that stuff. Unless somebody needs me to watch.
I will take
Is
a
my
watch.
perception?
I've got a good perception check, so I'll take a second watch.
I'll take a watch.
You have dark vision.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
I have dark vision and a
second
good
watch will
perception
work.
check.
Second watch will work for you.
Yeah. I can do one of the watches if I have to, but I don't want to.
Probably not a good plan.
I'll
You
take-
have dark vision.
I
I think most of you have dark vision except
yeah,
for Tor.
I'll
Yeah.
take third watch then.
Okay.
Rick on first watch.
The troll will take whatever watch people wake him up for.
So, Brick, Go ahead and roll a perception check with disadvantage because it is dim light out in the first watch.
That is a 7.
7. As you sort of keep your eyes out, it's getting dark. Dark is not necessarily the best place for you while you're moving around. So you mostly just kind of, while you're sitting up, you just kind of take some chips of wood and start carving your runes into them for the day, just to have prepared for your spontaneous runes. And just kind of keep an eye out. And fortunately, nothing major seems to approach or try and catch your attention. You wake up, leave for the second watch. Leave. It is now dark. Are you going to set up a campfire?
I have dark vision, should be fine.
Okay, so make a perception check with disadvantage. Because you treat darkness as dim light, and that's what dim light does. You make a perception check with disadvantage.
Is that partial to dark vision?
No, that's just how dark vision. You treat darkness as dim light, and dim light as bright light. And dim light's rule is you make a perception check with disadvantage.
Huh.
I imagine dark light is just straight up, you can't.
Yeah, if it's absolute darkness, you just can't see any perception. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that means I don't
funny.
get a natural 20. But still, that is a 15.
15? Keeping your eyes out. The environment is noisy at night. There's a lot of crickets and other nighttime insects and frogs making plenty of noise. It's a regular cacophony. You're kind of amazed that your companions are able to get any sleep through it. As you kind of keep your eyes around, you do notice as you sit, a wagon slowly begins to trundle its way down the road.
Can I tell anything about the wagon?
It's roll me investigation.
Oh, 25.
Nice. That's funny. Nice. As you look at it, it's of a make that you haven't seen before. It's very dark wood and sort of stained, like yellowish stained glass, with a large pair of horses pulling it along. The individual sitting on it is wearing this sort of white shirt with black vest and black pants and boots, with this sort of very wide-brimmed, very tall hat on his head. As he moves along, you can catch the glint of a monocle on one eye as he rides along. It's definitely a human on the wagon. And you can get the faint smell of incense wafting off of it from something burning on the inside as he just kind of slowly keeps the wagon moving through the night.
Alright, and we're a little bit off the path.
You're definitely visible, though, and he can definitely see your camp, but he doesn't seem to be interested in stopping around it. He seems willing and ready to keep moving.
I'm gonna just basically keep an eye out as his car moves past, look for any movement, like if there's anybody else in the car or anybody else that moves. So I'll keep an eye out for that.
Roll me a perception check.
Is that gonna be with disadvantage or not?
Yes, with disadvantage.
So he probably can. So I think he can see us though.
You're definitely shapes that are visible. As far as you know, humans don't have that kind of night vision that you do. So maybe he's just kind of moving. There's like a lantern sat on the stool next to him that's shooting a cone of light forward so that you can see the road. That might be all that he's seen by, in which case he can only see you sort of vaguely at the corners of the light. But he definitely... It would be hard to miss that there is something off the side of the road. It might be harder to make out what it is.
Yeah.
But you've got tents and stuff set up, so it's easy to tell that someone is there. Especially if the lantern never caught you, which you probably did, as it was turning some of the bends in the road. The lantern probably at least vaguely caught you in your tents.
All right. Well, I'm a half orc, and everybody else. I'm only half orc, and everybody else is still in their tents. So I'm just going to kind of hold up my staff and use the light cantrip just to get a little bit of a better view of things, just to let him know that we're there. We're just camping. So, and make a perception check to see the light.
That is advantage.
Yeah. So that's 15. 15. I like roll dice apparently.
So, as the wagon driver definitely spots your light and kind of turns his head to you and looks at you for a minute with this sort of suspicious look as he sort of spots you, keeps going, but you see his eye is tracking you out of the corner of his perception. But as you look, you can see through that sort of yellowish stained glass. You can see the faint shapes of people on the inside of the wagon, and as you see one person sort of repositioning themselves in the wagon, seemingly to lay down for some rest. A second individual kind of sits up, and you see the faint outline of a claw reach up and just kind of run across the window, almost as if it's wiping away some fog to see through, to see what's outside.
A claw. Does it look reinforced enough to possibly be a prison wagon?
No, this is definitely just kind of a transport.
Claw. Let them mind their own business. I don't really want to alert all of the many suspicious-looking characters in my party, so I won't question his.
I'm not wanting to be scrutinized, so I won't scrutinize you. That seems...
Yeah. I'll just kind of let him pass and, again, keep an eye on if any of them try to get out or look into this more.
As eventually the wagon reaches the point where it's just like maybe a dozen feet from your campsite off the edge of the road. The individual kind of looks over at you and kind of very sort of warily just kind of tilts his hat. Evening, sir?
I give a simple nod. Evening.
You have a pleasant night. Kind of continues the wagon along. This awkward, just kind of 2 seconds conversation as you pass by.
Yep.
Awkward conversation's the best.
Awkward conversations don't raise questions.
Did we ever check that camera?
Oh yeah. Have a second look at that one. Does it look fine? Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's slightly Dutch angled, but not enough to really worry about.
My blind camera setting skills have improved.
Yes. So yes.
Yeah, so your watch finishes up as the wagon passes out of sight, which brings you on to the third watch for whoever's taking that one.
That's me.
I get you up for the watch. I tell you that there was a wagon that went by a little bit ago. They just seemed like travelers. Well, there was some kind of clawed creature I could see through the window, but I
Looks like a clawed
wasn't
creature.
really in a good position to ask questions. So, if there's another of similar description,
I will kill them on sight.
You do that.
Wonderful, I have permission.
As if you needed his permission for anything.
I will keep my eyes out.
Good. So, go ahead and make me a perception check with disadvantage unless you're starting to fire.
But doesn't she have dark vision?
She does, but it's dark.
It's
Oh,
dark.
it's not dim light.
The sun has not risen yet.
Oh.
It's his third watch. It is always darkest before the dawn.
21.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry, 20.
Okay, but that was with disadvantage though?
It was.
Okay.
I rolled a 14 and a 17.
Nice. So, as you keep an eye out, you eventually, as the night begins to give way, as just in the wee hours before the morning rise, you begin to hear the noise of movement.
Can I tell where?
From further along where you just have been going, sort of something that would have been going in the direction you came from, theoretically, or moving around in that direction. You begin to make out some yipping and barking noises in the distance. There's something apparently either with canines at their disposal or that makes canine noises is moving in that direction.
Are they moving towards us or away?
Somewhere in that direction. I don't think we get closer per se, but there's definitely activity in that direction.
She is gonna stealth and check it out.
Let me just double check.
Well, that was a 1 on the die.
They have they have disadvantage on their spot tracks.
However. So she's lost forever. We wake up and don't find anything.
So as you move out to try and see what's going on, you
Fall in the lake.
as you move out, you come across you eventually hear the sounds of a scuffle, some kind of combat taking place. You hear the crack of a rifle, and as you sort of peer through the brush to get a closer look, you see a group of these hyena-looking bipedal creatures with a variety of shoddily put together armor, being led by one of these larger canine creatures with this sort of red face paint and this giant two-headed flail in its offhand. Harassing this very dark wood, sort of very Victorian-esque looking wagon with a human with this sort of dark attire and this top hat at the head of the wagon with a gun trying to defend off these creatures that are circling the wagon and beginning to close. And it is at that point that you manage to step on a particularly dry branch that offers a loud crack.
Yep.
And immediately a pair of the gnolls at the corner of the ring turn and spot you.
Yep.
So if you'd like to roll me initiative.
I'm gonna die.
Is there any chance that the rest of us would hear that particularly loud crack, or is it too far off?
It's a bit off.
Or the gunshot.
She had to walk away from the.
Yeah, the
away
gunshot.
I tried to
Wakes
stealth,
up.
I rolled a 1.
Happens.
If a gunshot doesn't wake us up,
Yeah, the
avoid it.
gunshot definitely was. You had to travel for a good 10-15 minutes.
I'm rolling so badly. That was 10 for initiative.
All right.
Wow.
You get a +5, right?
Yes.
So you had to roll a 5.
Yes.
When we wake up,
I
she's
reject this dice. This die. I don't like it. I'm using my metal.
And everything it stands for.
Yes. It stands for some pretty bad stuff. Oh, now I roll a 19.
He doesn't like rejection.
I am just gonna reject you. I need dice jail.
Okay, so first up in the combat is the large mole. You see, he kind of steps forward into the close proximity of the man with the gun, and kind of brings his flail up and strikes it. Swings at it twice with both heads of the flail. But the man manages to duck out of the way and use the wagon as cover, and manages to avoid being struck. And then the rest of the gnolls begin to circle around close in on the wagon, while 2 of them break off to head for you.
Come at me.
So
Throw yourself upon me.
as the 2 gnolls kind of look at you with sort of scimitars in hand, they kind of make these growling and begin to rush forward, and both of them are going to take a swing at you with their weapons. So it's going to be 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Which will deal
That hurts.
8 points of slashing damage.
Yep.
And that'll be a 9 to hit, which I'm assuming is going to miss.
That misses.
And then they're both going to try and bite you.
Could I borrow a pencil from someone? This does not have an eraser or lead. Thanks to my child. Thank you.
And then they're both going to try and bite you.
Okay.
It's going to be a 21 to hit. Which will be 5 points of piercing damage. And 19.
Yes, 19 hits.
And 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Which then makes it your turn.
Alright. Well, let me get these 2 that are on me. I will stabby stab. Um, 22 to hit.
I'll hit.
Okay. 6 damage.
You bring your claw around and slice across the torso of one of these gnolls. Anything else in your turn?
That's it.
Which then the man on the wagon kind of brings his gun up, fires at the large gnoll with the flail. Manages to miss though, especially it kind of cracks across the heavy armor that the gnoll is wearing. It doesn't seem to penetrate. But at the same time, the back door of the wagon bursts open and 3 individuals rush out. All 3 of these individuals are large and furred as they leap out of the back of this wagon with swords in hand and claws extended. These large wolf-like beings, these sort of humanoid bipedal wolves with sharp teeth and snarling visages of these creatures in full clothing and armor, but walking bipedal wolves. 2 of them with swords and one with a staff. Burst out of the back of the wagon as the human on the helm sees the other 3 jumping out of the back of the wagon. He kind of, all right, kind of cracks his knuckles and cranes his neck for a second, and you see his form begin to swell and shift as fur sprouts, and this sort of grayish smoke envelops his frame as it wraps around him, and when it clears, he too has become one of these large wolf-like humanoid beings as he stands and faces and growls at the large knoll.
Do I know what these things are?
Roll me a history check. Or a nature check, actually.
Okay. 9.
Nope. Never seen one of these before. Presumably humans with some kind of shape-shifting ability. No idea.
Okay.
Maybe like druids, you don't know. And they proceed to lay into the knolls as well. Yeah, wow, okay. The three that came out of the back of the wagon immediately lay into the knolls that are directly around them. The two of them with the swords immediately piling onto one knoll and taking it down together. As the third kind of brings her staff up and presses a hand into the gem on the top and pulls it away, and this arc of lightning seems to trail across her hand as she pulls the hand away from the staff and lashes it out as this bolt of lightning kind of arcs across 2 or 3 of the knolls and seems to fry across them, and they immediately kind of spasm and fall. Which then brings it back to the top as the large knoll with the flail cracks in. Yeah, ouch. As his both of the heads of his flail crash into the one on the wagon, and there's this burst of sound and darkness as this sort of howling noise cracks from the collision of the weapon, and the individual on the helm of the wagon just collapses to the ground. The large knoll immediately grabs him, picks him up by the scruff, and tosses him off to the side, as if saving for later, and then steps over to the next and makes a second swing. And then the gnolls, the 2 that are on you, are going to keep trying to attack you.
I mean, like, is it like a supernaturally loud crack?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a 9, which will miss you. 16?
16 is exactly my
So it
history.
just hits you. So that'll be 8 points of slashing damage.
Did your dex go up last level?
Yes.
And your AC went up?
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
17 now?
Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot to do that.
Okay, so that actually misses you. Bite you. That's a 14. And that's a 10. So they don't hit you at all. Your turn.
I don't suppose that crack was loud enough to...
She's made a bit of distance.
Okay.
Alright, I will... Can't really backstab these guys right now.
I mean, if you separated from these guys and went for one of the ones that the other Worgen are fighting, you could. But these guys are... There's no one helping you fight.
Yeah, no. I need to take them down.
You can disengage the bonus action and get past them without them getting attacks opportunity on you.
Or come back and wait for anybody else to do that.
Yeah,
How fast are you?
Faster.
Or how loud are you?
It took you about 10 minutes to follow these guys here. It took you about 10 minutes to get back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you could just join the other Worgens in the fray, if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna do that.
Alright, so you disengage from these two and circle around and head for one of the ones that the Worgen are engaging.
Yes.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll against one of them.
Alright.
Does she have advantage for flanking?
Yes, you do.
Oh. So what do I do for advantage?
Roll your second one.
Awesome. 20.
That will hit. Full damage with sneak attack.
And 14.
14. Is that all the damage? Is your sneak attack higher than...
46
That's
plus
46.
1d6 plus 4.
I'm doing this wrong.
So
Hold
you do
on,
5d6
sorry.
plus 4 damage.
I'm doing this wrong. Okay, let me do that. Sorry. Wow.
Several ones.
Wow.
Did you even bother waking up before you got
14
there?
Nice!
I just rolled really, really poorly.
Unfortunately, this one's already injured. So you dig the claws into its back, and it yelps loudly in surprise, and then falls to the ground as the Worgen that was facing him with the long sword kind of leans back and looks at you. Because you had sort of the half nod of like we're in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, she will also give him a nod.
We'll worry about this later.
You're not trying to stab me.
The one that had the gun is unconscious. The two with swords immediately lay into the next Worgen. The two of them combined will probably take it out. Nothing like that. Maybe. Yeah, okay. Between the two of them, it's a struggle, but they do manage to barely finish off one of the gnolls, which brings it down to just the 3 left, and the large one. Actually, no, it's just the 2 that were on you, that are left, and the small one, and then the large one. And then the mage, Morgan will, looking at the 2 small ones that are left, will bring her hand up and run it across the staff, and these series of purplish lights will kind of coalesce into being around her shoulders as these arcane missiles lunge out and slam into one of the gnolls. And starting off strong, apparently. Almost all fours. As this collection of violet missiles slam into the chest of one of the 2 remaining small gnolls and crushes its chest plate into itself, and it falls. Which then brings it back to the guy at the top, who sees the group of you, and runs up and brings his flail around, and it swings out at you. That will be a 18 to hit.
Yes.
So that will be 13 points of bludgeoning damage, and there is 24 points of psychic damage. As you hear that howling crack in your mind as the flail collides with you.
Yeah, I'm not doing well.
And then take another swing at one of the other Worgen. Connect. Just going to say, you fail. So as you're reeling from that, you see one of the warriors kind of step up to get into combat with this large gnoll, and the flail collides with them, and it crashes into them, and you see their body just kind of freeze and seize up under the strike of the flail, and seem to be paralyzed. Which then means his turn. There's only one gnoll left. Natural 1. It's gonna flee. The one remaining small gnoll flees, which leaves just the group of you and the large one. Which then makes it your turn.
How many are left?
Just the one big guy.
Okay.
Shanky-doodle-doo.
Sure. Can I sneak up behind him at all?
And you can get behind it and try to flank with the other.
Okay, I will flank. And stick up. Right. Isn't that rolling one tonight? 15 to hit.
That will miss.
Yeah. I'm really not rolling well.
Them. The one is paralyzed. Just for their business turns. This as a few seconds go by, the one who had been paralyzed by the strike is able to get his muscles back into motion. It's the other two. The other one with the sword takes a couple of swings at the large knoll, but is unable to really do more than scrape across its armor. As the mage then brings her hand up and hurls a small bolt of fire, which will actually connect and do an amount of damage as it crashes into the body of this large knoll, which then brings it back to its turn. Yeah, it's gonna bring the flail back around as it's gonna hit each of you once with its 3 attacks. So the first one is gonna go to you. That's a 17. It's gonna be 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm done. No.
Not unconscious.
Yeah. How do you die in this one?
You roll death saving throws.
Okay.
Fail 3 of them.
I'm knocked unconscious.
As you feel that crack across your skull again, you black out, and you have no idea what happens as everything goes dark.
And we wake up.
So sometime later, the group of you awaken in the morning, and your one-armed rogue is missing.
I start tracking.
Looking around for tracks. That was a natural 1 stealth, so hopefully the tracks are there.
I beat her stealth check.
Oh no. Yeah, you people need to wait.
What'd you roll?
10.
Fortunately,
Well, we're in a swamp.
Fortunately, there are some fairly obvious tracks.
Yeah, it's a swamp.
The swamp has managed to preserve them pretty well.
Yeah. This is not my native terrain.
I go ahead
I
and tell the group about
immediately-
what happened as far as what I saw in my watch, if that's relevant.
Troll gone.
Yep.
I'll
follow the
head with him.
So you move for about 10 minutes before you come across the site of a battle. You see the wrecked remains of that wagon that you saw last night. That has been busted across in many different locations, and there's splatters of blood and a few bodies of those canine creatures that I mean, he couldn't describe it to you, but you see these large canine creatures that Jangatal recognizes. Some of them strewn across the ground. But you don't. This is where her tracks end.
Look around for.
I'm looking for.
There were 5 of them, right? You said.
I want to look around for. Is it just the bodies of the gnolls or whatever?
Yeah.
So how many bodies are here?
There are 5 gnoll bodies, but you remember there were 5 regular gnolls and then the big one.
Is there the big body?
So yeah, the big body's not here. There are 4 bodies of regular gnolls.
Are there any other bodies?
There are no other bodies.
I look for evidence of a body being dragged.
I'm looking for the big Knowles tracks.
Both of you rolling survival.
That is significantly better.
I rolled a 16.
13
tracks.
19.
You definitely see signs of bodies being dragged away to the north. You see, again, with those same bodies, there is the prints of that very large knoll dragging something out to the north, presumably the bodies of your friend and whoever else.
I follow after.
As you guys begin to do that,
And
you hear a voice call out, "Wait a moment." Sounds very pained and
A survivor of the battle or something?
possibly.
I'll look in the wagon.
Yeah. And you look and you see sort of limping out from cover around the trees is a wolf-like humanoid creature. This heavy fur, looks feminine.
But different from the bodies?
No, yeah, definitely wolf-like, whereas these are more
Yeah.
hyena-like. tall and lean, where these are very broad, sort of squat and hunched. As she kind of steps out, dragging a staff limply in her left hand, as she kind of...
And she regains 12 hit points. Cure wounds.
You run up and place a hand on her, cast the cure spell, and she kind of breathes a little bit easier.
So you must be the group that ran across our camp last night.
I wager that much, yes.
What happened here?
We were set upon by gnolls. Some orc woman came to help. Was she one of yours?
Yes.
One arm.
That's what brought us here. Looks like they were dragged off to the north. Do you know of any settlements near here?
The big bastard. It's a hell of a flail. Knocked my companions out and her. I managed to get away with magic, but he rounded up the bodies and dragged them off north. I assume they have a camp somewhere out there.
So how fast can we move up there?
I need to get there quickly then.
We just gotta move.
As Troll starts going.
I'm coming with you, she says. Still looking heavily injured, but she's definitely able to move much better now that you've done some healing.
Let's move. I'm gonna go get my steam suit in. So
Yeah, you might want to activate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna activate.
You're probably not going to drag a body for several hours.
No, I mean we just gotta move there.
At most, you'll probably only have to use a bio or two.
That's fine. Yeah.
So, start.
Yeah. Throw me a use technical, throw me engineering.
Oh yeah.
Intelligence.
Is there?
Because that was the trade skill, yeah.
Is it trade skill?
Yeah.
But when you so just use straight intelligence.
Proficiency,
Yeah.
plus your proficiency.
Plus proficiency. Okay.
You are proficient down here.
Yes.
So, it's 11.
That's enough. You only need an 8.
Yeah. Okay. That's a bad roll though.
You start up the steam suit and start moving. And as you guys move along, following the tracks.
I'm going to move ahead of the rest because I'm faster because of my fleet of foot, and I'm tracking, and I'm, I think, the stealthiest in the group after her. So.
You want to roll stealth?
Yeah.
Don't roll a 1. It sucks.
That's 2 ones. That's an 11.
Yeah.
So that's a 17.
Okay. Yeah. So you start blending in. Fortunately, you are a sort
That's
of.
a 16. I can do math.
Okay. You're a jungle troll, and this foliage is more of like a blue-green in coloration, so it sort of matches you.
Yeah.
You're able to blend in a little bit better than usual. And so you start blending in and start moving forward. As the rest of you move, the woman kind of follows up behind you. My name is Belinda Starseeker. Who are you, Lon?
Leaf Ironmender.
Brick Earth Whisper.
He doesn't talk much.
This one's Josh. And
Josh. He doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk.
Right.
I was waiting for her, but that's not.
I know, I was
That's
about
right.
to introduce
It's
myself.
like,
You're the disembodied voice Warcraft.
Brings your lot don't exactly look like typicals of the wetlands. What brings you around here?
It's a bit of a long story.
we're on our way places, trying to
It
get
is.
through.
Yeah.
I was with a party of my companions heading out of Gilneas and trying to make it further north. Well,
Heading south ourselves.
we just arrived in Stormwind after our flight from Gilneas, and we're trying to head north to see if we can get closer home. To see what was left.
Oh. We're not exactly from here.
Out here.
I would have figured the Horde would know. I suppose you don't have to talk. It's not exactly like Gilneas spoke much with the Alliance until recently. Forsaken launched a heavy attack. They have taken most of the city and destroyed much of it. Our home is almost certainly gone.
It's terrible news to hear.
Well, this is the way of war. I suppose you all should be ecstatic about the war taking more lands here.
No matter who wins in this war, I don't.
Well, you're helping me get my friends back, so right now I don't care who you belong to. Keep walking for a bit. About a half hour of you chasing them down, you manage to arrive, and sneaking your way through, you manage to see there is a camp that has been set up a short distance away from where you initially spotted the camp. It hasn't moved much. Where you can see a number of gnolls, maybe a dozen have gathered here, and you can see there are a number of cages that have been set up where captured individuals have been placed. You can see.
I was hoping you would say that they tied our hands behind our backs. I wanted to know how that would work.
They try to tie your hand behind your back. Oh, hey, a friendship bracelet.
I'm free!
There's a number of individuals that have been tossed in cages. You can see Shiana laying in one of them, along with three more of those wolf creatures, similar to the one that came to meet the rest of the group.
I presume that they are not completely incompetent, and that the cages are in the central part of the camp under constant supervision.
They're definitely sort of centralized, and there are definitely gnolls that are around them. Whether they're under constant supervision is a matter of debate on your idea of supervision. There's definitely always a gnoll nearby. Whether or not they're paying any attention is a matter of chance.
How are these cages closed? What condition are people inside?
The people seem to have just been tossed in there without a second thought, and the cage is shut behind them. The cages they're a series of, like, bone reinforced with metal, that has been sort of planted into the ground, sort of dug into the earth, and tied down and reinforced with metal blocks on the ground to prevent them from being pulled up. And they're tied shut with sort of a rusty kind of heavy metal lock on the door.
Question. I've had a bit of time to experiment with this dragon, with these dragon fang stuff, weapons. How well would they cut through the bone?
Given enough time, you could probably solve through.
But it would take.
It wouldn't be a matter of your weapon. Like a steel weapon might not be able to cut through, but the dragon weapon would absolutely be able to cut through. It would just take time. You'd have to solve through, basically.
How long?
Probably about a minute.
Is this cage like 360 vantage point, or is the back of the cage less well looked after than the front?
The gnolls that are watching are more sitting around the front door and kind of facing away, so if you could, I mean, it'd be difficult to saw quietly, but if there's like a distraction, you could probably saw through one of the back panels.
Okay. How far ahead am I from the rest of the group?
Maybe about a minute.
Okay. I'm going to rush back to the group.
Okay.
I'm going to grab my spear. I'm going to make a crude drawing of the camp in the dirt. I'm going to place the little fangs where each of the gnolls kind of were, and the big fang where the big bad were, and I'm going to pull out a bunch of knuckle bones, which are my bystander, my standard bystander thing, and drop them into a circle in the middle.
All right. I have a way to protect people from being attacked. Whoever runs in to try to free them,
What
I can
conditions
keep
were
them
they?
from running into too much trouble.
Beaten up, but mostly left unconscious in the cages. Whatever you want to do, keep it going.
Invisibility doesn't matter when you're trying to cut open a cage.
The gnolls have I'm sure you're not
familiar. I don't think they show up too often on the other continent unless they're with people like the venture company. But gnolls, when they're not working as mercenaries, typically only serve a couple of functions in their dealings with other races. Usually it's either food or slaves.
I figured they weren't bound for anything good now.
I pull out the bones and I stand them up like a little cage, like the bones, and then I take my knife out, my dragon bone knife, and I cut one of the knuckle bones in half. Soft red.
You think you can cut through those cages?
Yeah, how long? Are they on a high ground? Or is there a camp on a high ground?
Was there camp on the high ground or
Is there
not?
any high ground on top where I could set up get a sniper rifle?
There probably would be enough. There probably would be a decent high spot because they were set near a lake where they could get water. So they're actually one of the low points. So you probably
Can I get to a high point and set up with my suit on and my rifle?
Is there a
Because
place to set up?
anything within 200 feet, I just start shooting at them to draw them off, and you guys can get in there.
How many people are in the cages?
Is it just one cage or multiple cages? Because it's just, if it's multiple.
There's 3 cages. There's one cage that has
Yeah.
Shiona and the Worgen in it, but there's 2 more cages that have humans and dwarves, other people.
You can pick rocks, right?
Yes. Wait. I
We
think
can
so.
assume
I'm
she-
also unconscious.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Alright, because here's what I'm thinking. What?
Is there a buzzing sound? Apparently there's a buzzing sound coming through the stream. I have no idea what would be causing it.
like a constant low buzz.
Apparently. Oh, it might be some of the cables are loose.
And that's the first thing to check.
Please don't get electrocuted. Please don't get electrocuted.
You can't electrocute yourself with audio cables unless you're really trying.
I could, I bet.
Taylor.
I mean, maybe rolling a natural one.
Taylor can electrocute himself almost anything.
Taylor has a very unique set of skills. Did you turn Phantom Power on? You turned Phantom Power on.
Oh, did I? That's my. That'll probably be better then.
Okay, yeah, Phantom Power was on.
Okay.
Whoops.
That's my fault. I hit the buttons that look like they turn things on.
Hey, that's what I do.
So,
The problem with that is they're still going to be unconscious.
Well,
Right,
as you're
right.
talking about that, I grab the priest and pull him over next to me.
You got to go with them.
yes, hold on.
Do we have potions?
You're more familiar with them. How susceptible are these gnolls to magic, specifically control magic?
I mean, I don't know about the big one, but typical gnolls are cowardly and pack creatures. They tend to bow down to shows of strength and fear. So
Sanctuary should work well then. Alright. Because what I'm thinking is I'll go with... Because yeah, I can use Sanctuary, which will last 1 minute, and anyone who tries to attack whoever's affected with it has to make a will save to actually attack. Which I imagine they're no good at. So, a wisdom, yeah.
Spirit savior.
I mean, also, you don't have to be up next to the cage for the full minute. Like, once it's open, you can run in and heal.
Yes,
You can
yes.
probably reach in and heal from outside, could you?
I'm unconscious, but I'm just curious. You said there are other cages
Yeah.
with like dwarves and humans.
Yeah.
Are they conscious?
Needless to say, I've got...
They're all unconscious.
Well, some of them are probably stirring by now, but for the most
Okay.
part,
They're
these are fresh
not in
captures.
fight condition.
Yeah, they're not in fighting condition.
Basically, I've got every spell in the book that avoids combat, so... If someone else sets up a sufficient enough distraction and there's only like a half dozen that come after us, I can just straight up force them to ignore us. As long as the big guy isn't on us. Or theoretically I can cast that on you. Someone could like try to run around and attempt to... Because if they have organization, we can attempt to pretend that we're bargaining with them or something. We don't need a very long distraction, only a minute or two, but someone to distract the leader. Perhaps with some kind of a phony negotiation. would give us enough time to run back around.
I've got, well, while I was tending my wounds and laying out, trying to hide, I was able to recover a bit of my arcane faculties. I've got one big spell left that can probably splash hard, but not a lot other than that.
Because this person just looks like a regular arcane spellcaster?
She looks like a mage.
So probably so you want one distraction group and one group to go in and rescue them. That sounds like the plan. So how are we going to divide that up? You with your steam suit, you're good for causing a distraction because you're durable and long range.
Well, he and I can. Yeah, well, I can stay long range, and you want to go with me just to be there in case they catch up.
I mean, there's multiple things I can assist with. I could fly around and cause a distraction that way. While they're looking up, I can do that for one other also.
Do these dudes seem to have ranged weapons?
They seem to have longbows, but they don't seem to have anything other than that.
Just don't get hit much.
Yeah, the standard null complement seems to be either a longbow or a crossbow, and a spear or a scimitar.
But they don't look like the type to be dead-eye shots.
Probably not. The only one who looks like he might be a significant threat with his longbow is the big guy.
Alright. So then that's the plan.
Yeah.
Leaf and Jane go sneak in and try to get the prisoners out.
And then you and I will just go
distract.
Flank and
then the three of you, yeah.
Yeah.
Just cause enough collateral damage. I should be able to. I need to see how much people mass healing word helps.
And what the range is for getting everybody together.
Healing word is 30 feet, I think.
Hold on. Yeah, I just need to see how many people it heals.
Up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range, which is 60 feet.
How many people are in the cage? In the cages?
4 in the cage with Shiana. There's Shiana and the 3 Worgen. There's another 4 in one of the cages that's got 2 dwarves and a gnome and a human. And then there's 3 humans in the third cage.
So 2 castings and I can get everybody up. And these are, and
these guys
it's a
out
bonus
anyway.
action, so I can take 1 round, use a bonus action, a standard action, double cast it, and I can get everybody up in 1 turn.
You can't do the same thing with a bonus action twice. So you,
Oh, you
can,
can't?
you can do a bonus action and do something else, and then next turn use your bonus action and do something relevant.
I thought I could use a standard action as a bonus action. You can't?
Yes, but not the same
Not the
thing.
same thing. It's
It's specifically designed so you can't just like triple, double, whatever cast spells.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Could I cast 2 different spells?
I would say, strictly speaking, you're not supposed to be able to use a standard action as a bonus action. I let people do that, but specifically, I won't let you do the same bonus action twice.
Okay.
And I will say that you can cast a different spell if you want to.
Okay. So I can cast Save, Mass Healing Word, and Sanctuary.
Yes.
Actually,
Okay.
how are the cages arranged?
They're sort of a loose semicircle. There's 3 of them sort of in this formation, with Shiana's in the far left, and the center one has the humans and dwarves, and the far right has...
So they're like almost right next, kind of like right.
Yeah,
they're
they're
kind of
close-
clustered in
close
there.
to
They're
other.
probably about like 10 feet between each of them.
Between each.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest I could set up a sigil of lesser transportation and get in between them and then teleport as many of them out as I can. But
That would probably affect 2 of the cages. I think what's the burst? It's 10 feet
it's 5 feet.
Oh,
It's a
5
5-foot radius burst around me.
around you. So
teleporting.
you could take one of the cage's entire occupancies with you, if you manage to get right up next to one of them.
That'd be an idea.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, just to get one of them, just to get you
The cage that has Shiana in it.
Yeah, just to get her out and healed up, because
I mean,
So then-
we know
Then we
that
go back
you
to
and
the
the
rest.
Worgans can fight. We don't know about the other cages. So if anything, we want to get one of the cages that can't fight. Then we
So
just still have a cage that we don't
get
know
them
can
out,
fight.
heal them up, and then get the others out with a stronger group.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wipe these guys off the planet anyway. To get all the, if we're gonna free everybody.
How many are there, by the way?
A dozen small gnolls
I mean-
and the big guy.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't. I mean,
No, I would because what
I
I
was
want to do,
thinking it was
what
like
I want to do
twice
is
as
just
many.
get into as many of these
There's literally
cages
twice as many as there were in the
once
force that you fought.
while they can't fight.
Yeah, but I was
Right,
thinking there were like
Because here's the
24.
thing:
Nice.
if both of us have sanctuary on, they can't reliably enough attack us. If too many of them group on top of us, I'll use calm emotions, and they can't attack us. I have spells that make people not attack us, so we can just kind of run in, free all the cages, then outnumber them.
okay.
That's
That's what I'm thinking. Is once we get in there, we get a group like.
Yeah, we stampede them
Yeah.
and kill them after we open the cages.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Worse.
thinking. That's why we go in first.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If maybe I should, because I think I can just set up it up but not have to use it, not.
Well,
So just have it set up just in case.
Yeah, that's why you lot are running distraction.
I can go. I can go for distraction. I'm just from a distance.
Like,
I
whether you-
gotta get up.
Whether you want to do distraction as bombard them from a range or attempt some kind of a negotiation, you're a goblin. I'm sure you can run your mouth long enough to keep the leader distracted. And then if that goes wrong, you can turn it into
Yeah.
bombardment.
Can we even communicate with them?
I don't know. I don't think I don't really like their language, unless they do low common. But
Well, they might. Gnolls, the ones that do mercenary work, usually learn a little bit of low common, or common, one or the other. Both, usually.
I'm all for sitting up on a hill and just shooting at them until they run me down.
Well, we'll be splitting their forces. We may as
Yeah,
well.
I know. This is the thing.
Sure.
But we'll be splitting them enough too.
I mean, if a lot of you running rescue want to get ready, I can make the opening gambit. She says that she kind of brings her staff up in front of her.
Well,
Yeah. I mean,
are we ready to do this?
well, let me. Yeah.
About as ready as I'm ever going to be.
All right. How far are we from the camp?
You're about maybe 60 feet.
Okay.
Oh, well,
the edge of the
I'm
camp.
in plenty of range.
Yeah. So 2 rounds of running.
I'm gonna flank out away from everybody. And
All
stealth
right.
out and just.
As soon as we start running in, I'll cast Sanctuary on us.
So you and Jeng are going, right?
Yes.
So you'll be. Okay, as soon as we start, I will give you mark of speed to give you plus 20 to your movement speed. So you can keep up with Jeng. Get in there faster.
Cool.
Good idea.
Makes sense to me.
Make sure I know exactly how long the mark of speed lasts for.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yep.
Motion pattern.
Second level.
Yeah, mark of speed. Speed. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yep. So he walks over and pulls one of these little pieces of wood chips off, and that has this series of runes carved into it, and presses it against your shoulder, and you feel that magic sort of transition from the wood chip onto your shoulder, and you feel your speed increase.
Cool. Let's do this.
Alright. So the Worgen woman kind of staggers her way forward. You can see she's still very injured, but she's running on willpower right now, basically. And she kind of staggers forward and steps up and emerges from the brush in full view of these gnolls. Nice to see you, boys! Here's a gift from Gilneas! And she brings her hand back, and this ball of fire forms in her hand. As she hurls it forward, it lands in the middle of the camp and detonates in this massive explosion, and she sets off
only remaining 3rd level spell for a fireball.
I synchronize her casting of that spell with casting Sanctuary on myself, and the two of us charge in on the other side
I'm
of the
going
camp.
to slip in the back and start cutting.
And I will activate some March of Flying.
And then I'll cast Sanctuary on myself, then I'll cast it on them.
Do you want me to do anything, any rolling for cutting these cages, or are we just...
First off, let's have everyone roll initiative.
Okay.
You still roll.
Go ahead and roll initiative
Okay.
so that when you're conscious, you...
Yeah. You have a movement when you become conscious.
At least I'm rolling better.
Ooh, okay. I'm last.
Whoa, I actually rolled well on initiative.
Good.
What is this witchcraft?
Let's see, Vegas. Oh, wow, you got a decent.
I'm,
I don't
running
have
a,
initiative.
I'm running a distraction, like just away from these guys, and when that fireball goes off, I'm just going to start running, kind of away from the camp. Just, I'm sure they'll look to see what's going on, and they'll see this steam suit running away
Sort
from
of parallel.
yeah, kind of away from camp.
25 to 20. 20 to 15.
17.
18.
19.
19.
17.
It's everybody.
19.
I'm guessing your dex is higher than mine.
It's a 13.
You had,
Yeah, it's higher than mine.
You had 17? And you had
Uh,
17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes first.
And
Well,
you had...
I got alert
Yes.
this level.
You had
Plus
18?
5
18.
initiative.
Okay.
That also gives you significantly higher initiative bonus than my, 0.
So that means you rolled better than me.
I rolled a 17.
I rolled an 11.
So I go after Shiana.
To kill me?
No. My initiative is like almost lower than yours.
Oh,
and you're
okay.
unconscious.
And Josh kills Gianna.
I mean, we're going after you to rescue you, so...
Just the way you said it.
It's only a rescue mission.
And I killed
No, what's your initiative?
3. So just put me down there next week.
You're actually the only person going after the regular gnolls.
Right. Well, I'm just going to be running.
The other one.
I'm just going to be a visual thing in the distance. If they want to chase me, they can chase me.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
Using that disadvantage on stealth checks to your advantage.
Precisely.
You know what? Shiana, just roll me a d20.
Okay.
And it is.
I'm not adding anything to
No,
it.
just a d20.
11.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Jangatal, you want to rush in and start cutting?
That's the plan.
Roll me an attack roll.
Do I need to roll stealth?
Just get in there.
Sure, and if you want to try and get in sneakily, roll me stealth.
Stealth is a 22.
Okay, yeah, go roll me an attack.
Attack roll is also a 22.
Okay, roll your damage.
It's also a 22.
I would presume that I have to use the dagger because the piercing damage from my dragon bone spear is not going to be sufficient.
Probably not. You need to slash with the dagger.
Cool. 8 damage.
Okay. Making progress.
I don't suppose Snack Friend is really not super helpful in the application of trying to.
Probably not. If you want him to do something else.
Snack Friend can't pick locks with his tail. That would be silly.
Unfortunately.
Snack Friend is very stealthy, though. How many of these gnolls look injured? Like from that fireball and stuff.
Just a good couple of them are dead. But a few of them are still standing. Of the dozen gnolls, she managed to catch about 6 of them in the fireball, and 4 of those are dead. So there are 2 very injured gnolls.
We're gonna go snaky stealth mode here and pick off the injured gnolls.
All right, go ahead and roll me an attack. They're very distracted.
Snack Friend out for blood. Snake Friend is really good at attacking, by the way. 17.
That will definitely hit.
Alright. Are they susceptible to poison damage?
Yes.
Good. So that's...
Hold on, I need to pull up Snack Friend here. I said Snack Friend. So that's 11 points of physical damage.
And 7 points of poison damage, so 18 total.
Yep. And with that, the snake kind of swoops down around one of these charred and heavily injured gnolls and just kind of wraps around its neck and sinks its fangs into its flesh. And there's this jerking spasm as the gnoll twitches a few times and then collapses to the ground.
Rather than to fly back up, Snake Friend is going to dart into the cave, or into the cage on the ground, all hidden like, so he can't be seen. Because I'm assuming the grass around here has not been mowed.
No, it's relatively tall.
And I mean, he's about 5 to 6 feet long,
but only about that wide.
only about that wide, and with his wings coiled up. Should he roll stealth?
Sure.
Does a 26 keep him concealed?
Relatively.
All right.
No
No one sees Snake Friend.
That makes it the big one's turn. The big one sees a group of people, and sees a couple of them trying to break out as prisoners.
He saw me?
No, not you, but him, because you're in there too.
Can I roll stealth?
Sure. Let's see. Let's see if he does.
I thought you were staying back while I was
Well, he
cutting
was
open,
not-
and you were going to rush up when it was opened.
Well, he's fast enough. He's.
I thought that was the plan. Was I was going to rush up and cut it, and then as soon as it was open, you were going to rush up and do the thing.
Yeah, because I was going to rush up when the spell was about to expire so I could keep you back up.
What was your stealth roll?
My stealth roll was a 22,
22.
I think.
He didn't see you, definitely. But there's people here. There's people here who need to be attacked.
There's a party.
There is a party, and the flail is invited.
I didn't send an invite to the flail. I can't write. I don't know who sent an invite to that flail, but
He's going to close with. Who's the target that he wants to hit the most?
chirping.
You're big. You
Yep.
look like you could be useful. He's gonna go for you.
Okay. Rune of Starlight.
You first attack at disadvantage?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. That's good, because first attack was a 16 on the die, second one was a 4 on the die. Does a 13 hit you?
No.
No. Okay, first attack misses you. Second attack. Does an 18 hit you?
Yes.
Okay, so the Flail of Pain will deal 12 points of physical damage and 21 points of psychic damage.
So the 12 and 4. Or how much?
12 physical and 21 psychic.
Okay. Ow.
And then third swing with the Flail of Paralysis. That's a natural 1. He misses you.
That's good.
And then it's your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't expect my turn to come up this quickly. Alright. I guess I'll start returning the favor.
Oh, I need to update a couple of your striking pattern runes. Their action time needs to be a bonus action.
Okay.
In fact, most of the striking pattern honestly needs to be bonus actions because they just augment your attacks.
Okay.
But let's see. Healing pattern, striking pattern, real quick. Sure striking. Yeah, sure striking, and air striking, and magic striking. Yeah, all of the. Yeah, the cantrip first and second level spells of the striking pattern should all be bonus actions. The third level is still an action.
Okay, so I do magic striking.
Yeah, air striking, sure striking, and magic striking shall be bonus actions.
Cool. Okay then. For now, I'll just attack. First attack.
Nice.
That's nice.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Take that, you fiendish fiend.
So double the.
So double the dice.
Double the dice. That's a nice. 10 damage.
10.
Yep.
Is that with the doubling?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the problem with doubling the dice instead of the modifiers, is it leads to wilder swings.
Mm-hmm.
Second attack.
Yep.
Uh, 21.
That will definitely hit.
That's a 13
To hit or damage?
damage.
You did more damage with a non-crit? Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That 10
Nice.
max damage with 1. Now, do I want to hit him again with a normal hit or just punch him? For now, just punch him.
Alright. Rolling attack.
That misses. That's a 2 on the dice.
That will probably miss, yes.
It's the ever important, not a 1.
Anything else on your turn?
I think that's all I can do, so yeah.
Alright.
2 hits in there.
Leaf, it's your turn.
Cool. All right. How tall are the tents or anything in this camp, basically? Or
Most of the shelters are only about like 6 or 7 feet tall.
all right.
They're small tents, like single occupancy.
Yeah, but there is tall grass. Honestly, I think I could just start moving through the tall grass. Like, honestly, like probably just straight up crawling through it, because I don't exactly need to be fast right now, but I do want to.
So if you're crawling, you're moving at half speed.
All right, but that's 25 feet per round, so.
Because you got Marcus speed on you, yeah.
Yep. So, I'll go ahead and start moving up towards the cages like that,
Alright, go ahead and roll your stealth check.
prioritizing stealth over anything else. Would I get any kind of bonus on that for?
You're not making you a disadvantage because you're moving slow.
Okay. And also through tall grass?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why you're able to make the stealth check, is because you have something
The
obscuring.
problem is, when you're as the size that you are, tall grass,
I'll split open.
Okay.
Well, it'll move a little
when you're the
bit,
size that Snack Friend is,
16?
16? Yep. So you think you should be mostly hidden from anyone who isn't looking for you, so.
Alright.
Yeah, this thing is like, the only reason you're able to make the stealth check is because the tall grass was there, and the reason
Okay.
you don't have disadvantage is because you were moving slow.
Okay. Okay.
Because if you were just in the open, there was no way you were going to be hidden.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can do anything else in your turn, or just move?
I already cast the sanctuaries, so until I get into range for more spells.
Okay. Mage wants that Flynn's attention, so she's going to use the magic she has left. She brings her hands up, and these arcane missiles form over her head again and launch themselves at the large knoll. Where's my D4 go? There you go. Wow. Wow, she really wants that knoll's attention. Max damage.
I don't think you can have something's attention very well if it's dead.
I don't think that's gonna
No.
be
It's
an
not
issue.
going to be. It's going to be a while.
So they call them Flynn's in Warcraft?
I call them Flynn's because that's the stat block I'm using.
Okay. I was about to say, because like, Flynn is, I thought was a distinctly D&D term
Yeah.
for gnolls.
Technically speaking, in Warcraft, it'd be called a brute.
Okay.
But I'm using the stat block for a Flynn's because I haven't written out the unique monster blocks quite yet. And
Cool.
the null blocks translate pretty well. And that'll be the mage's turn. So then it brings it to the gnolls. There are 7 gnolls left, one of whom is very fried.
Extra crispy.
3 of them are going to fire the longbows at you, because you're in the
Yeah,
distance.
okay, yeah. How far away am I anyway? Is it like 100 feet or 200 feet?
Probably about 70 or 80 at
Okay.
this point.
Okay.
Which means that you are still within the short range.
Okay.
That'll be a 14 to hit, I'm assuming this is?
Miss.
Yeah. Second one. This could be a 7, that's missing.
Miss.
And that's a natural 1. He misses bad. So the 3 that are firing you miss completely. It's going to be. See if anyone can see you. That's a natural 1. They're not seeing you in the grass.
Nice.
The brute might on his turn, but we'll see. Then. Then the other 3 are going to go after you, Rick.
Okay.
That's a 14 to hit you.
That misses.
Alright. And then it's a 7 to hit you, which misses. And that's 7 to hit you, which misses. And they're going to try and bite you. It's a natural 1. 10 misses you.
Yeah.
Oh, hey! 18. Does that hit you?
That is.
Okay. Take 3 points of piercing damage. As one of them finally manages to sink its teeth in.
How are they missing so much?
They only have a +4 to their attack rolls, and that was some bad rolling.
I'm assuming they're fairly fast, and so just imagining them like just missing the large target.
They're not missing. It's
They're
that
just-
you are wearing armor and are a giant, and so you're basically just kind of like, they swing scimitars and spears at you, and you just kind of bring one hand up and just grab the edge of the spear, and the scimitar just kind of clangs off your chest armor, and you're just like, really?
And then one of them just finally manages to.
And one of them, the one that you grab the spear of, just kind of uses the fact that your arm is out and just kind of reaches up and bites into your forearm. Which then brings us Josh.
So I'm in range of hitting that big guy with the magic missile.
Oh yeah,
We'll just do that.
go for it.
It might be fun. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 points of damage. Just to
11
get his
points of
attention.
damage, and he don't get to do nothing about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we do it.
That's the best kind of damage.
All right. Anything else?
I'm just gonna keep moving off.
Going away?
I'm just gonna keep moving and just keep trucking.
Shiana, roll me another d20.
14.
You wake up at 1 hit point.
Okay. Hey, I'm conscious though. Is anyone else in the cage conscious? Is it just me?
It's just you. And that will be at the end of your turn, though, so you have to act next round.
Okay.
Jang.
I'm going to cut up in the back of this cage.
All right, roll me another attack roll.
23.
All right, roll me damage.
8 more damage. Oh, I should make my second attack on these, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should actually.
20.
That hits. Roll damage.
7.
All right, yeah, it's looking pretty worn out at this point. You think if you get 1 or 2 more good swings in like that, you should be able to break it down.
Okay. And Sneck Friend is going to take down the other injured one.
The other extra crispy one. Go for it.
Extra crispy.
Does a 17 hit extra crispy?
Yes, it does.
Why does that make me crave bacon right now?
He takes 9 physical and
Old jerky. No, jerky tastes like dog meat. I don't know how that tastes though.
5 poison, so 14 total damage.
Yeah, he's dead.
Well, Snake right now.
I legitimately don't know what dog meat tastes like.
And I don't think I want
Good.
to.
I definitely don't want to find out.
All right, strike and hide in the tall grass.
Yep. Which then brings it to the brute.
Snake friend is imitating snakes from video games. The most annoying enemy.
They really are. It's like
They're,
they strike fast and then they disappear and you can't find them again to deal with them.
they're up there. They're up there with bats.
Yeah.
The snakes typically poison you, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna lose like 50 health, really slowly.
Because I don't have any antidotes on me.
Can a snake kill you in Resident Evil 4?
I don't know. Honestly, it's been a while since I played RE4. But that brings it to the brute. Who's gonna try and beat the crap out of you with a flail?
Okay.
First, the flail of madness.
Starlight.
Okay, good. That's a good thing. The flail of madness is a good thing to Starlight. Because that's an 11. I believe misses you.
Yeah, that misses.
Then the flail of pain. That's a 16.
That just hits.
Okay. It'll be 7 points. Oh, sorry, 9 points of bludgeoning damage and.
It's a dragon.
Oh, that's right. Dragon in your cup.
Yeah.
16 points of psychic damage.
And I love it.
Okay. Whoa.
And then the flail of paralysis.
Starlight again.
Good. Good. That's a 4. That's a 13 to hit.
That misses.
Good.
My turn. It should be.
Yes, it is your turn.
Hey, guess what? I'm down to 1.
You're down to 1 hit point.
I'm down to 1 hit point.
Withdraw?
Yeah.
You can use your action to disengage, so you won't take an attack opportunity if you run.
Yeah.
That sounds
Oh.
safest.
Or should I just heal and stick around? How does the what is it? How does the mark of air striking work again?
The mark of air striking.
You said it was that's now a bonus action. Does that
It's
mean
a bonus action? This room allows the creature in power to strike an opponent at a distance. The creature may immediately use their reaction to make a single melee attack with a weapon of their choice against a creature within 60 feet. Force the attack being carried to the distant target by the magic of the rune.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll use your bonus action and your reaction, but it basically allows you to punch someone at a distance.
I think I'm just gonna start backing off. Yeah. Yeah, I'll disengage with my action and start moving away. Is there any cover where? Yeah, is there any cover is there anywhere I can get to while flying and be out of the sight of the archers, but still be away from the?
What's your fly speed?
I think it's the same thing as the movement. Let me just make sure.
Fly speed is usually 60 or 80.
Let's see.
Well, it depends on how you're flying. Magical flying.
Yeah, right, depends.
Like if you're birds usually have around 60, but
Yeah.
And the mark of motion.
Speed of 60 feet.
60 feet?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you can probably just fly towards behind a tree basically and take cover behind one of them.
I'll do that for now.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold on. So that was action to disengage and then move away. I don't think I can do anything else. I could try to just pot shot him with the airstrike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
Take a pot shot with the airstrike.
Yeah, since I'm. I'm guessing it's because it doesn't say it's just the regular melee attack from a distance, right?
Yes.
But just once.
Yeah, just one, and it uses your bonus action and your reaction.
That is a 17 to hit.
Yep.
Okay.
And you are above 5th level, so it'll also apply an extra 1d6 thunder damage.
1d6. Ooh, nice. That is 16 damage.
All right.
It was a 13 physical, 3 lightning.
Well, thunder. Sound.
Thunder, sorry.
16?
Yeah, 16 total
Okay.
damage.
Good. The group's taking some damage. Good looking
It
well.
happens.
Leaf.
Alright, so about 35 feet away from the caves and stuff. Are there any cages that are within 30 feet of me?
The far cage from like the one that was closest to you from the edge of where you were hiding would be the cage that just has the 3 humans in it, which is probably within 30 feet of you.
If I healed them, I think there's just a very good chance that they would freak out, and that's not good for stealth. So... Oh, I might... Depending on how long range this spell is... What is the range? That does not have range, okay. I'm going to... Alright. I'm going to try to move just a little bit closer and get mass healing word on everybody in Shiana's cage.
All right. Sure. That can also get some people in the other 2 cages as well, then, if you want to. Because there's only 4 targets in Shiana's cage.
True.
And you have 6 choices.
So there's the one cage with 4 and then the other cage with 3?
Yeah. You could theoretically also target Brick, because I believe Brick is still in
Because
range.
Brick's moving. Yeah.
That's a
around there.
4. I'll go ahead and get one person up in the cage with 4. Hopefully he can try to start stabilizing his buddies if I do that. Get the 4 people up in her cage and then hit one target on Brick.
Okay, so roll me your healing.
So that's 4 plus 8. 11 hit points.
Nice. So, Brick, you get 11 hit points. Shauna, you get 11 hit points.
Oh, yeah.
All of the unconscious people get 11 hit points. They will go next. Anything else for you?
Right, because that's also technically still a bonus action. Not really a whole lot else I can do. So I'll just wait for now.
Alright. So then next, as Shiona, as you feel yourself healed a bit, you see the Worgen in the cage with you stirring as they all come to their feet and look around and sort of examine the situation. 2 of them see Jangatal hacking on the cage and decide they're going to help with that. And the 2 of them kind of grab the 2 sides that he's carving on, and we proceed to start to pull on both sides. I'm going to have to make me a strength check. That's a natural 20 for one of them.
So the two of them, kind of wrenching on the cage, managed to where you've been carving through, managed to pop the joints and force the cage open on one of the angles, which opens it up enough for the group of you to file out of the cage. The third one, who was the guy with the gun, is going to look around and see the situation around him. Is going to reach out and grab the bow and the quiver off of the gnoll who is dead outside the cage and pull it into the cage with him. Stand up, grab an arrow, and fire. Get right up and right back into the fight, man.
Sounds done.
Not rolling well on his attack though, so the first attack misses. The second one might be one of the gnolls. Yes, it will actually. So with his bow, nice. So sort of unsteady hands at first. The arrow flies and misses one of the gnolls, and he just kind of mutters under his breath, grabs another arrow, pulls back and fires, and the arrow sort of flies through and sinks into the shoulder of one of the remaining gnolls. Which will... And the mage is going to... Yes, the mage will reach out with her hand, and one of the fallen spears that is laying down next to one of the dead gnolls wobbles for a second and then hurls itself at the brute.
Catapult's a good spell.
Catapult's a very good spell.
Sounds like a fun spell.
Dexterity save. That's a 7 on the dice. He's got no dex save mod. He fails that. Catapult is a fun spell. She'll deal... I'm going to say 3d8 piercing damage because she just threw a spear at him. 6, 10, 14. The spear rams into the side of the bird. He looks to see where it came from, and there's no one there. There's a spear inside. Which then brings it to the gnolls. The regular gnolls. Which then... there's only 3 more longbows of you.
Archers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a 13, which I believe misses you.
Misses.
That's a 21.
That'll hit.
Okay. So that would be a d8 plus 1. 9 damage to your suit.
Okay.
And that's a 13, which I believe misses your suit. And then there are exactly 3 more gnolls left. And they're going to go after the mage. That's a failure. That's a failure. That's a hit. Okay. The one of the gnolls, as 2 of the gnolls run up, the mage uses their staff to sort of fend off their attacks, but the third one gets in around and just slices across her abdomen with his scimitar, and she can leans to the side, and that's gonna hurt. And then that brings it to Josh.
Okay. I'm just gonna suddenly turn and charge the camp as 3 mirror images come off of me, and so 4 of us are charging the camp, right toward those 3 archers.
All right.
And then that's my turn.
Roll me an intimidation check, because the steam suit just turned around and started barreling at them, and then there were suddenly 4 more steam suits.
The goblin called for reinforcements, clearly.
The 4 of us were running together, and then all of a sudden we turned and toward them, and
The steam
split
suit
off.
The steam suit
It's
got
like that
cavalry.
comedic thing where you challenge someone to a fight, then all of a sudden 5 of his buddies just pop up from behind him.
11.
11?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, they're not frightened of you.
Yeah, not yet.
They might have been.
It was a bad roll.
Shiana,
Yes.
you are now
I'm
conscious and awake and have access to these things.
Okay,
Have
is the
access
cage
to a hole in the
open
wall.
yet?
Yes. There is a hole in
Okay.
the wall.
There's a hole.
Awesome.
And there's a dagger that the troll is holding out that you could probably just grab. Because I don't think they left you with your claws on.
No, you're
Do
calling
I?
us.
Oh, darn. Okay.
But I have a dragon made from the tooth of a dragon.
You have
Okay.
a dragon made from Tooth of Dragon?
Yes!
Dragon.
I have the whole dragon!
I'm a dragon. Alright, I will take it
Reincarnation?
from him
Okay.
and say thank you.
Alright, what are you going to do?
Slaughter some people.
Okay.
Not people.
There's 3 bowmen, 3 people on the mage, and then the big dude.
You need to help the
What hit you in the head with that flail?
Where's the big one?
He was just in combat with Brick, but Brick had to retreat.
I don't know if facing him by yourself is the best plan.
Well, you're going to be there in a second too, but
I mean, maybe.
well,
Can she sneak
I
up
mean,
behind
so
him?
long
need
as
to
you
help.
don't attack him, you can keep opening
You
cages.
need your bonus action to try and hide.
Specifically
So
with
roll yourself
Sanctuary.
Okay.
I need to help that mage a little bit.
One. Not a 1. 20 on stealth.
Yep, so you can get behind him and go ahead and make me an attack with advantage.
Alright. 18. 18. Okay, we're rolling much better now. 27
Yep, that'll hit.
to hit.
The dagger does a d4 rather than a d6. But you do
Darn.
get your 4 d6 of sneak attack.
Okay.
You just needed to take a nap.
Okay, my D4 ran away.
You what?
Oh, here's another one. Okay.
Could have possibly been a toddler.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to find it with my foot.
It's not the metal one, though.
No, I've got the metal one. Wow, I'm still not rolling well. 14 damage.
You got your dexterity?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, that goes up 1 now. I'm sorry, 15 damage.
Good, good, good.
I forgot to add that because I saved that up on my...
Okay. At the end of your turn, he's going to use one of his desperation actions. And he is going to... he's going to incite rampage. So all of the 6 remaining gnolls are immediately going to move up to their speed towards the nearest target and take a bite attack. Which is going to be... There's going to be 2 of them on you. You're too far away.
I'm going to be unconscious again.
You're too far away. 2 of them are already on the mage. And there's 2
He's
left.
gonna be unconscious.
I'm on the other side of the cage.
Yeah, and you've revealed yourself by this point because the cage just drawn
Oh, yeah.
to you. So it's going to do the one you take. So it's 2 bites on Jang.
Don't forget Sanctuary, they have to make a
With
spirit
That's a
saves.
natural 20.
Okay, so he made the spirit save to attack me.
Yeah. But it's only going to be a 12 to hit you. So.
Yeah, that doesn't hit.
Second one, spirit save. Fails the spirit save and is loses the attack. Then the 2 that are on Shiana. It's going to be a 15 to hit.
Wait, no, 15 does not hit me.
Okay. And then 14 to hit, which will also miss. And then the 2 that are on the mage. Miss. Miss. Okay. Nothing happened that rampage.
Yay.
Jangatal. You have 2 gnolls.
No, I've got a flint.
Alright, going for the brute.
Yes. How injured is this brute looking?
He's rough. Desperation actions are an invention that I have created, which are basically like legendary actions, but they only become available when the creature is below half health.
It's when their health is flashing red.
All right. So we're gonna grab the
Phase
spear
2
out,
boss.
and we're
Yeah.
going to all kinds of vicious strike this fool.
All right, go for it.
Can I be flanking with her?
And
Sure.
You have lost Sanctuary.
Yay, flanking.
That's fine.
Yes.
Flanking for advantage. I crit on 19s. I would like to tell you about the bad day that this Flynn is about to have. It's not going to be his best day.
I mean, I think it already hasn't.
It's going to be his worst day.
It's gonna be his last day, probably.
Well, it was his fault, so.
So. What does 54 damage do for him?
How do you want to do this?
Just right through the center of the chest.
I want to barrel him down with a giant spear made of the fang of a dragon, and remove him from existence.
Alright. Because he taken 84 points of damage and has a maximum of 127 hit points. So,
How many?
127.
Well, I used up literally all of my focus points on that attack. To get 4 extra weapon dice of damage, and then crit to get
Even more.
5 more.
Yep.
Nice.
So 10d8.
So you rush forward and running behind this flint as it brings its flail up and around to slam the heads into Shiana. You just kind of like see its back, and there's just this perfect target as you just rush forward and drive your hand on the back of the spear and just thrust it forward with both hands into the back of the brute's breastplate, and the spear bites through its ribs and erupts out the chest as it shears through metal and rib and just breaks through out the other side. And you just kind of ride it down and plant the spear and the knoll into the dirt.
I'm not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have a second attack.
You do.
And a sting available.
Yeah. See, sometimes he'll like wake up and fuss for like a minute.
I'm going to figuring that it'll take too long to wrench this spear out of this guy. Just pull the dagger out and slap it against my sting vial.
Well, you're the Skinner.
Yeah, the Skinner. Slap it against the sting vial, and we're going to bring it into one of the other gnolls, who happen to be near Shiana.
Yep.
We're stinging it with the one that hurts.
Yeah, the I forget the name of it, the poison damage.
Yeah. Am I flanking on this one?
No. Not quite.
Okay, well, I mean, it's 17 on the die, so I hit.
You hit.
So it takes 9. Make a stamina save.
What's the DC?
It
13.
13.
Doesn't matter, roll natural one.
Okay, it takes
Yay!
an additional 8 poison damage.
Alright, and it was how much initial damage?
9 physical, 8
physical
poison.
and 8 poison. 17. It's not injured yet, so it's not dead yet, but that hurts. That hurts a lot.
And then I'm going to growl at the thing.
Roll me an intimidation check, because you just took out their leader.
I'm actually bad at intimidating. That's a 10.
Well, they have a -1 to their wisdom modifiers, and they rolled a 3.
I'm guessing they don't have proficiency in that save either.
No.
Just a guess.
And, is that both of them or just the one that I shanked?
That's both of them.
Cool. And, Snake Friend doesn't like it when you pick on, magic-wielding mages.
Hmm.
So Snake Friend is going to go
Fly.
wreak some justice over there. And flank with this mage.
Go for it.
So 14 on the die, let's see if we crit. 15 on the die is not a crit.
But it was a hit on the die, because your armor class is 15.
So 12 physical damage, that's max. Ow. Snake Friend angry. Ow! 12 poison damage, that's also max. So 24 damage.
And they only have 22 hit points.
So Snack Friend just like
From full to nothing,
just out of the grass, wings up right in the back of the neck. Poison goes straight into the spinal cord.
It's the you ever see the like the action movie moments where there's just like the sudden camera pan of behind someone when there's just the thing that just emerges with wings spread, as there's the slow motion shot of the snake just emerging out from behind this knoll and then just biting fangs deep into its neck and dragging it to the ground.
And while the paralyzed body slowly slumps to the ground, it's going to be coiled around its neck, hissing at his neighbor.
That's painful. The brute is dead, so that brings it to Brick.
All right. So what's left?
3 gnolls.
3 gnolls.
There's still the 3
Oh no,
archers
sorry,
plus the other one.
sorry, yeah, those
There's
3
4.
too. So there's 4 gnolls.
4 gnolls.
Yeah, 4 gnolls.
Okay.
Aren't there 5? 2 on the cage, 2 on Shiana, and 1
Oh yeah, 5.
on the mage.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But the 2 on Shiana don't look super ecstatic to be here right now.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I think I am going to, with my action, cast a Rune of Healing to heal myself a little more.
That's a good idea.
So 1d8. There you are. I heal. I heal 10. And I will use bonus to do another airstrike
Go for
at
it.
one of the archer gnolls. Goodbye.
Deadly.
That is 18 to hit.
18, yep, that hits. Cool. Roll damage plus 1d6 thunder.
Oh, nice. That is 17 damage
Ow.
total.
Are you aiming for the injured one, or
Yeah, let's start taking it down.
he's dead?
Get my pencil. And that's my turn.
Leaf.
There's 1 more or 2 more gnolls?
There's the one that looks like it's gonna flee. The other one that was gonna flee just got murdered by Brick. And then there are 3 other ones.
Cool.
One of which is on the mage.
And there's precisely enough people left in the cages for me to mass healing word, which I think I'm going to do.
Alright.
So, heal all those people back up. Oh, and that's a 4. Nice. And that's the 12 hit points.
12 hit points.
All
All
of
of
them.
all of the remaining injured.
And I'm going to go ahead and use my action to move up to one of the locks, and I'm going to try to make an engineering check to open it up.
Sure. Roll me engineering with your agility.
Cool.
See if you can dismantle this lock.
Is expertise, because it's proficiency and a half, is that rounding up or rounding down?
Expertise is double proficiency.
Oh, nice. So that's 17.
17, nice. So you look at this at this lock, and you look at it and you realize it's rusty and old and probably not holding up the best. Picking the lock would probably be relatively easy, but you also realize and you kind of take your staff and press into the joint where the lock holds and just kind of lever a little bit and it pops.
Nice.
There was a weak point that you could easily exploit.
Cool.
So you open that lock. Brings it to the injured folk and the mage. The mage appreciates the assistance that it got from the snake, and is going to hold its staff out to the side, and a sort of arc of lightning kind of channels down the staff and then into her left hand, which she will then place on the knoll, and she's going to use her shocking grasp. That'll hit. And shocking grasp is, I believe, D8s. Okay, yeah. Nice. She lays her hand on the knoll, and the knoll judders with the electricity coursing through it.
Heart attack, William.
Yes, that probably is what I've got.
That's what happened to the knoll, yes.
You just gave me one.
No, he used shocking grasp on the knoll.
Close enough.
And the archer among the worgen is going to pull his bowstring back and fire at that knoll that just got shocked, and the arrow will sink in between the shoulder blades and finish it off as it collapses to the ground. And then he'll pull another arrow out and fire again. That'll hit as the one remaining by the cage, one of the two remaining by the cage, takes an arrow to the shoulder and is injured. And the two that are by the cage that he's at are gonna they don't have weapons, but they have claws because they're worgen.
Oh.
So they're just gonna lay in with claws. And not do a bad job either. Between the two of them, they just kind of, with their claws out, just rip through the one that was punctured by the arrow, and now there's only two gnolls left. One of whom looks like it's going to flee. In fact, it's his turn. He's going to flee now.
Is he injured?
No, but he does provoke an attack of opportunity from Shiana.
Yay!
Thank you.
Goodbye, Noel.
Do I need to roll to hit him?
Yeah, roll to hit.
Do a crit.
19 to hit him.
Yes, that will hit. Roll damage. You don't have sneak attack because there's no one to help you out here.
And I still just have a d4?
Yeah, just a d4 plus your agility.
Alright. 8 right now.
8. Alright. And he starts to run. The other one is going to try and fight the worgen that just piled on. Not doing so well, as he misses. Josh.
I'm just gonna head into one of the tents and start seeing what's available.
Loot the room.
Loot. Loot what you can. Alright, we'll cover that in a moment.
Okay.
Shiana.
Yes. My turn?
Yes.
He's running away.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have my claws. Stop.
Go for it.
Do I get sneak attack or
No, you
backstab or
He
anything?
knows you're there.
He knows you're there and there's no one helping you fight him, so.
I can try. Is that okay? Yeah. Does a 13 hit him?
Unfortunately, that misses.
Okay.
Did you raise your attack when your dex went up?
Yeah, it's just
No. Only my damage.
Your attack also goes up by 1.
Zachary, could I use that pencil, please? Does a
Yoink.
14?
Also does not quite hit.
Okay.
Their AC is 15.
But it's so close.
Yeah.
But it still goes up by 1. Thank you, Zachary.
Jangatal.
Pull the spear out of the leader's body and hurl it at that silly worgen over there. Or not worgen, the one that the worgen's dogpiled.
Yeah.
How is he looking injured?
He's a little bit injured. They didn't get to do a lot to him, but
20 some odd. 20 exactly to hit.
that hits. Roll damage.
He takes 11 damage.
Alright. He's not dead yet, but he's looking very bad.
And huck a javelin at him. Dragon bone spear. That's a natural 20.
Ha! He's probably dead. Roll damage.
18 damage.
Yeah, he's dead. That would have killed him if he had full health.
And Snack Friend is going to drop this runner.
Go for it.
22.
That hits. Roll damage.
12 physical. Okay, not max anymore. 8 poison.
He's dead. as the last of the gnolls.
You swing at his back, and then a snake pops out in front of him and bites him in the face.
Which brings us out of initiative as the last of the gnolls in this party falls.
Yay!
All right. As the battle winds down, the Worgen mage kind of stumbles her way over to the cage where her companions are at, and just kind of wraps the three of them in a giant hug as she kind of pulls all three of them in. Oh, it's good to see you, lads. And they have their moment of reuniting before the four of them set to helping the other prisoners out of the cages.
Yeah, I go ahead and pop open the other lock.
Yep.
I'll fly over to Shiana. Are you alright?
I'm in pain, but I'm alive. Thank you.
Let's go to Leap. Maybe he can fix it.
Okay.
That is... I think it is...
Plus 8. So 10.
No, it's not +8 because this is regular healing word cast at first level. Because I'm not casting this at super high level. But that is... Yeah, that's +6. Yeah, no, that's 8 hit points back.
Can I borrow your pencil pen? I'm sorry.
There are pencils around here. You know?
That one's
This
dead.
one's out of lead, and it has no eraser, thanks to our child.
Um,
Gotta get him to stop taking erasers.
what does this Flind have on him?
He has
Sorry,
a suit
and
of
thank you,
chainmail
Zachary.
armor, and his flail and a longbow.
I'm gonna pick up this flail and take a look at it.
The flail appears to be, it has 3 primary wounding implements. It is a double-headed flail, so there are 2 chains on it, and then the pommel is spiked, which are the 3 methods that it uses to perform its primary attacks. All three of the wounding points, both the two flail heads and the spiked pommel, are formed out of the skull. All 3 of those skulls were glowing when it was wielding them, and the 2 chain flail heads were emitting a trail of smoke. But that seems to have died down after its death.
He's gonna look at it oddly, and then hand it to Leaf.
Do I have any idea what this is?
It's a weird-looking chain flail made out of skulls.
Can I recognize what type of magic this may have been using?
Sure, go ahead and roll me Arcana.
That's a natural 1.
Nope. Weird magic. That's what it was. It was null magic.
I'll identify this more later. I'll keep a hand. I'll hold on to it though.
Poke at the chains with one of my dragon bone spears. Do they seem like they're specially protect on the chainmail, or does it seem like normal chainmail?
It seems like standard chainmail.
And I pick up the bow and pull at it. It seemed like a
Standard bow. Yeah.
okay.
The only thing that seems particularly dangerous and magical is the flail.
Okay, toss it aside. Also, this is a giant gnoll.
Yeah.
Any
relatively.
particular like jutting fangs?
Yeah, he's got really big canines.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Pop those out.
You won't need them.
Put them in my counting bag.
You, in your looting,
Yeah.
managed to pull together. Give me 1 second. I need to. This. Where did that other D10 go? Oh, there it is. You find 70 gold pieces and 35 silver scattered throughout the brute's tent. And also a variety of bits of leather and bone and meat, some of which is viable for using as rations, and some of which is just bone and meat and leather.
Okay. Any odd materials I can work with for... I don't see anything.
I mean, there's some
as
weird,
far as-
like, scale hide that is off in the corner. It looks like it might be like crocolisk or something that might be interesting to work with, but nothing particularly useful from an engineering standpoint.
Okay, alright. Okay. Alright.
So how?
Gather up
So
all
there
the
was two cages with just an assortment of like humans and dwarves, or
And a gnome.
humans, dwarves, I don't know. Are any of you all injured or, well, prohibitively injured?
The gnome kind of dusts himself off and stands up, and he's got this sort of like this bushy pink beard that sort of extends to about mid-chest, and his hair is kind of frazzled. He kind of dusts himself off. We all seem to be in walkable condition, he says as he looks around. The beatings they gave us on the way in don't seem to have left any lasting damage. I thank you for your assistance.
I think that the accent just became more gnomish.
Yeah.
The more you were talking.
Trying to get in.
I'm just getting into character. I thank you for your assistance, but it's a bit odd to see the larger and greener folk helping us out.
We help out where we can.
I'm not about to turn away some aid. Thank you all.
Were you all in one group or separate travelers?
My understanding is that some of us were traveling together. I don't think all of us are from the same group. One of the dwarves speaks up. Nay, I was part of a patrol just wandering the roads, and gnolls came out of nowhere and ambushed us, dragged us off. The gnome speaks. That sounds like my traveling party as well.
It's the one in the crowd.
Just check.
So where were all of you headed?
We are on the roads between the dig site and the southern ends of the wetlands and Menethil Harbour.
Do you think a lot of you can make it back all right?
I think if we don't have to worry about more gnolls like that, maybe we won't. Maybe that was a good enough message. But perhaps if we all move as a large group, he says, looking at the Worgen and the other dwarves, maybe if we all move as a large group back towards Menethil Harbour, we'll be a large enough threat to make them stay away.
Yeah.
I do believe a lot of them were moving north as well, so I say indicating to the Worgen.
The Worgen, who was the coach driver, kind of looks up. Right, I think the group of us moving towards Menethil Harbour might be the best place to get some new steeds and a new wagon as well. Thank the group of you. Don't know what to call all of you.
I mean, I can go there. It's okay.
I mean, to use the name. I don't
would
think
your
they're
name.
gonna- yeah.
Yeah, they won't tell anybody. We're basically sneaking past already anyway.
Yeah, and we help them and stuff, so like, they're-
We're the Soaring Fang.
Soaring Fang.
Just a group of people trying to make the world a better place. Really time.
I'll
Not
be
sure
sure.
about what you do. Close enough.
I'll be sure to remember that name on my travels. Thank you all for your assistance. Yes, indeed, the gnome says. And I think we could all use a drink back at the inn at the harbour. Shall we get moving? And the group kind of gathers themselves up and offers their final farewells to you all and begins to move north and west towards Menethil Harbour.
Light be with you on your travels. I'll go ahead and cast another mass healing word on any of the ones that look particularly most injured as well.
Go for it.
So just using up some more health points on that. So that's 9 hit points back for whoever looks most injured there.
Might be with you as well, the mage says, as she kind of limps a little bit less now that you've provided a decent amount of healing to her. And the group separates and begins to move off towards Manathill Harbor, and as you all gather yourselves in the wake of this combat, and begin to prepare to move on, and as Austin returns, that is where we will end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Farewell.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.